You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, guys, let's talk about Shohei Ohtani and Jack Morris once again. This will be the third video we have actually made on this topic, and we've actually heard from Jack Morris, we heard from the Detroit Tigers, and we heard from Bally Sports. Bally Sports actually suspended Jack Morris indefinitely for using an Asian accent when describing how to approach Shohei Ohtani at the plate. He said, you got to be very, very careful in an Asian accent. And of course, the woke sports media, they lost their mind. Keith Olbermann said he wants him fired. And I do believe that there's a strong possibility now that Jack Morris could be fired. But however, we have not actually heard from Shohei Ohtani on what Jack Morris actually had to say about him, how to approach him at the plate until now. And guys, Shohei Ohtani's response is not going to make the woke sports media very happy. Now, Shohei Ohtani is from Japan. He is not in the same culture that we are here in America. He grew up under different circumstances in a different country. And guys, check this out. This is what Shohei Ohtani had to say about Jack Morris, and the woke sports media looks like fools. Shohei Ohtani not offended by Jack Morris's mocking Asian accent. He's not offended by this whatsoever. And I'm pretty sure that the woke sports media was probably expecting Shohei Ohtani to say, oh, this is terrible, the guy needs to be out of here, needs to be fired. No, he's not actually getting into any of that. So let's go ahead, let's read what he actually had to say. It says here, it doesn't sound like Shohei Ohtani will be seeking further punishment for Jack Morris or even another apology from the Detroit Tigers broadcaster. Now we know the woke sports media and the woke people out there in general, no matter what you say, what you do, you can apologize 10,000 times. It will never, ever be enough for the woke mob. Now, Jack Morris came out and he apologized for what he actually said. But let's move on. Morris, a Hall of Fame pitcher, used a mocking Asian accent when suggesting the Tigers should, quote, be very, very careful when pitching to Ohtani in the sixth inning of Tuesday's game. He apologized on air during Ohtani's Nets at bat, but was suspended indefinitely Wednesday by the television network Bally Sports Detroit. Ohtani, the biggest star in baseball right now, and he's probably going to win the MVP, might have taken some of the heat off of Morris with his reaction. This is what Shohei Ohtani said. He said, quote, I did see the footage and I heard it, Ohtani told reporters through an interpreter, according to The Atlantic. Quote, personally, I'm not offended. I didn't take anything personally. He's a Hall of Famer. He has a big influence in the baseball world. It's kind of a tough spot, close quote. So there, Shohei Ohtani sounds nothing like the Tigers. He sounds nothing like the woke sports media. He doesn't sound like any of these clowns out there that are calling for the cancellation and firing of Jack Morris. He says he saw the footage, he heard it, and he's not offended. But of course, you know, to be offended in woke sports, that gives you a lot of cred with the woke sports media. So this is not a surprise that Jack Morris is now suspended. Now, hopefully with the words of Shohei Ohtani, he seems to be showing support for Jack Morris. Hopefully Jack Morris can actually keep his job now based on what he actually had to say. See, we're in a dangerous time right now in woke sports because of the whole George Floyd thing and racism this, racism that. That's what the media is screaming out there. You even had other outlets calling what Jack Morris said was racist. It wasn't racist. He said, be very, very careful. He just used an Asian accent. And they went ballistic. If this was happening 10, 15 years ago, this would be a non-story completely. But now we're living in a completely different time now where the worldwide leader in ESPN has went super duper woke. You have the NBA, Black Lives Matter, NFL, Black National Anthem. There's social justice stuff everywhere. And if you can't find something to scream about in sports that has to deal with social justice, then you'll just make it up. You will make it up. You'll find victims here and there. And the media, they truly wanted, I believe, Shohei Ohtani to be a victim. But Shohei Ohtani is not giving them what they want. He refuses to be a victim. He's not offended by this. He's not offended by this. He's not going to be offended by this. And that just showed you the difference between the culture here versus in Japan. I mean, wokeness is out of control in every aspect, every industry here in this country, whether it's entertainment, whether it's sports, whether it's the news. It's completely out of control. And to be a victim gets you a lot of cred with the media. Just look at tennis. Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles playing victims all the time. And the media is praising them. Shohei Ohtani, not doing that. He's not going down that road. He could have easily said, I'm offended. Get this racist off the air. None of that happened. He said he wasn't offended. It's completely ridiculous. And I agree with Shohei Ohtani. That's just my thoughts on this. What do you guys think of this? Black and white sports fans, do you agree with Shohei Ohtani that he's not offended? Or do you believe that he actually should be offended by the words of Jack Morris? Hats off to Shohei Ohtani. This was really nothing at all. And I'm glad that he came out and he told us his honest opinion about this situation. Anyway, guys, let us know what you think about all this in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Black and White Sports, and we'll catch you next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.